Is the market completely devastated and dead, or is it the buying chance of a lifetime right now?
Same shelf, two different metals, two different stories.
If I buy gold today at 1.44 lakh, am I catching a falling knife or a bargain?
My advice to my family is don't lump sum.
Where one should enter the metals market?
If these two lines break, I stop buying, I stop protecting, no hoping in my mind. Silver falls twice. One word started it, war. This is a once in a generation move, once in 20 years, 30 years or so, you see such kind of move.
Do I sell everything that I have right now in my portfolio?
When Mars enters, well, this is the single biggest wild card on the board, okay?
Banks have openly been projecting gold being priced at $6,500 and the silver at $300. Is it a numbers driven, data backed forecast or just a fantasy?
The path can be a violent and a volatile one, not going to be a straight line.
Has been analyzed using KP Astrology. All right, back again with Professor Krish Murali, again to help you with the financial market, but with the lens of astrology. So for the last 2 years, anyone who didn't buy the precious metal was called a fool. Kyun? Why? We watched a very historic gravity defying price uptrend, which made the global prices for gold and silver to reach an all-time high, with gold being placed at 1.93 lakhs and silver being placed at $121 an ounce. But in the last 6 months, a trapdoor was set. Both of these metals fell tremendously down, with gold being placed at 1.44 lakhs and the silver crashing by 52%. So, sir, my question would be very straightforward and to the point. I am here sitting for the viewers. So, from their perspective, the one and only question being asked out there is the market completely devastated and dead, or is it the buying chance of a lifetime right now?
Well, that's $1 million question, but the honest answer is uncomfortable. The two metals, silver and gold, to me are showing a completely two different verdict. Let me explain. Gold is down 25% from its peak of 1.93 lakhs. But it is still up 22% of the year for the year. That's a correction, not a collapse.
Okay.
However, silver, if you see, it is down 52%. Now that is a crash.
Yeah.
Same shelf, two different metals, two different stories. Where is the need for people to accumulate gold coming from? The central banks are buying. They're still buying at nearly 60 million tons or so, 60 tons, whatever number of tons that they're buying. Huge amount of tons of gold is still being bought by the central banks across the world. And the fear of de-dollarization is still there. The narrative of de-dollarization, that the world trade is moving away from dollar and moving into something better, is also pushed people to start buying more and more gold. And this has resulted in the market continuing to believe in gold, not so much in silver. So my verdict upfront is start accumulating these metals, don't chase, buy in tranches at levels decided in advance. Of course, the next question that I have in my mind is, what are these levels? Where do we start accumulating? Now, to me, the first tranche of accumulation will be when gold is around 3,950 to 4,050, which is around the place at this point of time. Okay, this is the current area of dip. So this is a good support zone and also a decent level for us to start accumulating. It's a tranche one, not tranche two. Okay. So the price is around lakh and 40,000 to lakh and 42,000, right? Now, tranche two, where I see a value for us to accumulate gold, is lakh and 35,000 to lakh and 37,000. In dollar terms, it is $3,850 to $3,974.
Got it.
Now, tranche three, which is a deep, aggressive level for one to consider investing, unless, of course, there is a macro shock that drops it even further, which is very unlikely, in my opinion. The prices that we are looking at is lakh and 28,000 to lakh and 32,000, or $3,700 to $3,850. So that's gold. Now, on silver, my first accumulation, first tranche, which is a tactical level for me to look at it, is $54 to $58, or 2,30,000 to 2,38,000. Now, the
Mm.
tranche two, where I see a good value coming in, is a $50 psychological retest when it comes back to $50, $52, or 2,10,000 to 2,22,000. One should consider investing in silver. But then a deeper accumulation level, which could again be the best long term entry if silver touches that, is 44 to $48, or lakh and 90,000 to 2 lakh rupees. Those are my levels.
Got it. Got it. Sir, I would really appreciate if more clarity is thrown on actually what lit the fuse which caused gold and silver to reach an all-time high in these past 2 years, and what then made it, it blew up. What made it blue 6 months back?
You, one word started it: war.
Hmm.
And one word ending it: dollar appreciation. See
Hmm.
what happens, that gold is a safe haven for traditional investors, big investors, and central banks. Okay. So in January 2026, the US Iran war fear plus a falling dollar sent both the metals vertical.
Hmm.
Gold touched an all time high of $5,589.
Yeah.
Silver touched $121.58 on 28-29 of January. Now, silver had run up 236% of its 2025 low in months. This is a once in a generation move, once in 20 years, 30 years or so. You see such kind of move. 1970, we saw a move like that in silver. Okay. Now, what popped it? What popped it was dollar appreciation.
Yeah.
When the Iran Iraq war was at its kind of peak, and Iran and the US war was, and Israel war was at its peak recently, starting on February 28, and the dollar started appreciating. When the dollar started appreciating because of whatever number of reasons that they are, then people decided that, there is probably a better chance of us moving to currencies and safer havens than gold, because gold and silver already run up. So they started pulling money out of this. This
Oh,
is
okay, okay, okay.
first thing that popped up. The second thing that popped this was the Fed talking about possible rate hike instead of rate cuts. So the narrative from the big players, from the Morgan and Stanley of the world, and JP Morgan of the world, is saying that possibly there will be a flat or an increase in the rate. Now, increase in rate is bad news for gold.
Now that boils down to a very layman question of mine, and everyone would have the same inquisitiveness of asking:
No,
if I buy gold today at 1.44 lakh, am I catching a falling knife or a bargain?
neither.
Okay.
You are buying the same insurance the world's central banks are buying. 60 tons of it every month, every single month they are buying.
mm,
That's why the gold is holding above $4,000
mm,
shelf,
mm.
right?
Right,
It's
right.
orderly. It's not a free fall. Every time it falls below $4,000, people are buying and then bringing it back to $4,000. The floor price, right now we are talking 1,42,000. The floor price we are talking is 1,37,000.
Mm,
If it holds it, and there is a very strong base that will build, and that is when the accumulation for you and I
mm,
will begin. Okay, first tranche, we are already near the first tranche. When it falls down by another few thousand, 5 to 10,000 rupees from here on a 10 gram, then
mm.
that is probably another minor tranche or good tranche that we can start looking at.
Mm.
And remember that the retail investors like you and me don't see the central bank accumulation.
Yeah.
Quietly in the background, they are accumulating 60 tons a month.
Mm,
So my
mm,
advice to my family is, don't lump sum. Do one tranche at lakh and 40 to lakh and 42. Keep some dry powder for 1,35,000, 1,37,000, and keep some deeper cash if it falls down to 32 to 35. And that's where you will be able to make biggest accumulation.
And the mess, sir, you yourself told us that the in case of silver, that was not just a correction, that was a collapse, right? So that 52% collapse, why would any intellectual, sane, sound-minded person would touch silver right now?
Because the very thing that makes silver terrifying on the way down makes it explosive on the way up.
Mm,
Look, dollar is going to appreciate, depreciate at very small percentage every year.
mm,
So will be Nifty 50. So will be most of the stocks. So will be Sensex. So will be in S&P 500 and so on and so forth. But silver, so will be gold. But silver went up 250%. So that's excitement, right? That's adrenaline push. Silver falls twice as hard as gold. 58%, however, of its demand is industrial, solar, EVs, and chips. So it trades like a growth stock,
mm,
something that you would normally see in a new economy stock, for instance, like AI, for instance. Okay, so it will be volatile. It will be highly volatile. Currently, it is sitting at a 78.6% retracement,
mm,
which is the deepest give back before the whole rally is invalidated. 2.25 lakhs or around $54.5 per ounce. The upside, however, is real. Both the Bank of America and Citi carry a long term targets near $300 on silver. When will it go? Nobody will be able to predict. But the rule is simple: buy silver at half the size of gold. If you're putting 10 lakhs on gold, consider only 5 lakhs on silver. That's my mantra. And only what you can hold through a 20% or a 30% drop from today. If you have the stomach for it, enter.
justified. Let's cut to the main part. Give me the exact price where one should enter the metals market.
I'll give you three prices for each because you will never bet it all on one number. Gold, lakh and 40, lakh and 42, start.
Okay.
Lakh and 35, lakh and 37, that's the meat. Lakh and 28, lakh and 32, there's a deep if a shock hits gold. Silver, accumulate between 2.30 to 2.38 lakhs. And the meat is in 2.1 lakh to 2.2 lakhs. And deep value is 1.9 lakh to 2 lakh. Now, when will you say that the momentum is back? When the gold starts to trade and sustains about lakh and 50,000 and silver above 3 lakhs. Okay. The
Hmm.
ceilings, when will you say that euphoria is again back? The old all time high on January 28, 29, 1.39 lakhs on gold and 3.8 lakhs on silver.
1.93 lakhs on gold.
1.93 lakhs on gold and 3.8 lakhs on silver. Correct.
Got it. These are all the very optimistic things we are talking about till now, that this is not a collapse, not a crash. We have been very neutral till now. But I am very sure, looking at your face, that there must be something, some loophole where a number also scares you, that this whole story or this whole neutral perspective would fall apart if that number is hit.
Two lines. If they break on a weekly close, not on a daily close, I don't care about the daily close, on a weekly close, if these two lines break, I stop buying, I stop protecting, no hoping in my mind. Gold below 1.37 lakh or 3 $3,974 on a weekly basis. If it consistently closes below that, then the next leg down opens for me. Silver below 2 lakhs or $50. $50 is one psychological base price,
Hmm.
and it's a very strong support for silver. If it breaks further, the bull story goes on ice.
Hmm.
No bottom fishing. Wait for it to find its bait. What will break them? A confirmed Fed hike, a dollar surge,
Hmm.
a growth scare. If
Hmm.
all the three comes at the same time, then all hell will break loose on gold and silver. So, what is the discipline? The discipline is I must decide my exit before I enter every single time. I shouldn't foolishly trade on hope.
Great answer. I hope that helps our audience who's watching you, following you since the last podcast that hit 300K views on YouTube, just because you wanted to spread financial awareness. So we speak, as we speak, Rahu enters Dhanishta Nakshatra. And we have been in all our podcast episodes very repetitively emphasizing on this fact of Rahu entering Dhanishta Nakshatra, the star and the reason for the 2008 crash. Are we looking at something very similar to that? Do I sell everything that I have right now in the my portfolio?
No. And anyone who tells you that a planet guarantees a crash and never allows it to recover is just selling you fear. It's fear mongering. I don't want to do that. But here is what it actually means for you to look at it rationally and take a meaningful trading decision or investing decision. Yes, in our own data, correlated with hundreds of years of statistical analysis, Rahu and Dhanishta was the worst performing Rahu star historically. And the last time it overlapped 2008.
Hmm.
But that's not something that you should be worried about. What are the circumstances that we looked at that point of time? Okay. And what are the circumstances that we are looking at this point of time? There are completely two different scenarios we are looking at. Something uncertain is brewing in the sky from especially from February 28, 2026. Okay.
Hmm.
But I don't see a exact 2008 scene playing out in 2026 because we don't have a mortgage bubble that blew in 2008.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a talk of an AI bubble. Perhaps we will do another video on the AI bubble. I have my opinion on that as well. But is there a significant economic problem? Not yet. Not yet. Currently, it is not in the horizon. But can it come? Perhaps it can come. Can it make the interest rate go up? Very much possible. Does it mean that the metals will fall? Very much probable. Okay. But should we sell and run? No. I will buy in smaller sizes, buy in tranches, what levels in a harder way for a volatile metal like silver, for instance. And that to me is just pure common sense. It's a caution overlay, not a panic sell signal at this point of time. There are two different reasons to be completely careful, not one causing the other.
Mm, mm. So that means numbers driven, mathematically driven investor should not care at all if this is not a red alert.
Yeah, because the tape already agrees with it, right? So what is happening to the ticker here? The two unrelated signals point the same way. You stop and listen. When the whole world is saying metals are going to fall, Rahu in Dhanishta is also going to say that the metals are going to fall. So you watch out. You be prepared. Okay. So a technically sound mind will say, watch, be careful. Both metals in deep in correction, volatility is very high. That's the narrative that a technically sound mind will give in a situation like this can happen. Okay. Astrology just happens to flag that same scenario which happened in 2000 and 6, for instance, the 3rd August 2026 to 12th April 2027. If you look at it, this period is when the astrologically Dhanishta Rahu in Dhanishta Nakshatra. Okay. Now, you use your technical indicators, you use your technical analysis, macro analysis. Watch these parameters. If these two parameters are going to align with each other, it is a discipline tool.
Hmm.
Okay. It makes me size down exactly when I would do otherwise and get greedy.
Hmm.
This is not the time to be bullish and greedy blindly. Although, when Mars enters the Mrigashira Nakshatra in approximately 10 days from today, there is a very high chance of a short term rally coming in. Perhaps everything in the world, including Nifty, everything in gold and silver. There's a 3 week window where there is a possibility of a reclaim of some levels, some decent levels that we can give. But if gold reclaims lakh and 50, okay, and silver reclaims 2.8 lakhs, there is no need to be cautious about it at all, because the price will beat astrological overlay. So people are now will be using gold and silver as a safe haven compared to any other
Asset
investment.
class.
Join the gang.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what if I say the Fed might increase the rates when everyone else is, expecting cuts? What does that do?
Well, this is the single biggest wild card on the board. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, higher interest rates means higher cost of holding the metal because it doesn't pay us any interest.
Hmm.
It's a direct headwind to the prices of gold and silver. And that's why silver crashed in July, because the dollar reclaimed the 101 hike bet. It didn't touch 101, but the bet was that it will touch 101 rupee, right? So that feeling itself crashed silver. Okay. In the last 1 month, silver has crashed decently. But watch the flip side. One weak jobs report in June instantly bounced gold.
Hmm.
Okay. This turns, that's the beauty of these two metals. This turns on a single data print. What to watch? Of course, we want to watch the federal decisions that come in. We want to watch the dollar index, DXY. We want to watch the CPI. We want to look at the jobs numbers, because these are, headwinds. These are things that will show what is going to come. If these numbers look bad, then the interest rate decision will go against gold and silver.
Okay, got it. And sir, the rupee is at 95 and sliding.
Hmm.
What good or bad does that do to a common man like me?
Well, here is the twist that almost everyone misses. A weak rupee is a secret cushion sitting under your MCX gold. Okay, right. MCX price is equal to global price into the rupee value.
Mm.
A falling rupee lifts my MCX price when COMEX drops. MCX gold is only 25% of its high. This is proof for you. While global gold is 27% off.
Mm.
The rupee increase, the falling rupee is actually softened the blow here. The flip risk, if the rupee suddenly strengthens, well, I don't know if the new avatar of Vishnu is going to come. If it comes, certainly rupee can quickly strengthen its price. Then the MCX can fall on its own. Forget the global
Mm.
prices, regardless of the world prices, it can fall. But I don't see that miracle happening. I don't see Vishnu avatar coming though so very easily at this point of time. Net for a long-term Indian holder, currency is a tailwind, not a headwind,
Mm.
but don't ignore it.
Got it. Got it. All right, sir. We are moving towards the concluding part of this podcast. I guess we have covered each and everything. A few rapid fire questions I would put forth. Uh, Next 12 months, silver or gold? What will you choose?
For most people watching this, gold. But the honest answer depends on one thing. It's not about the metal, it's about you.
Mm.
Gold, if you want to sleep peacefully at night, steadier, central bank floor is there,
Yeah.
insurance grade, wonderful. Silver, if you can stomach 2x the swing on either side, 2x the potential, higher risk, higher reward.
Mm.
Okay. Now, ideally, I watch the gold versus silver ratio. If it is 60 and below, okay, 60 and below, then that is 60 times silver price is gold price. Okay, then certainly I am looking at not investing in silver. Okay, if it crosses 70, 80, comes to 100, blindly I will consider putting money in silver because silver is so cheap.
Mm.
So traditionally, 60 is the average. For the last so many years,
Yeah. Yeah.
we have tracked that percentage. 60 units of silver is 1 unit of gold, which is where it is currently today.
Yeah.
So, short answer, hold gold, a smaller silver size for the torque.
Okay. And if my mother wishes to buy gold on this Diwali and my brother is very much enthusiastic about, trading in silver, what should I tell them?
Well, two different people, two completely different games. Mixing them up is exactly how people lose money, right?
Yeah,
So,
right.
to your mother, buy gold in tranches across the festive season. Sovereign gold bonds if the tranche opens and hold for years. Ignore the noise. Don't bother about gold going up and down. To your brother, silver is a trade. It's not a hold. Okay, a level, a stop, a target, yeah, half the size of what he will otherwise put, your mother will put in gold, he should put it in silver. And if it is below 2 lakh, stand aside, don't invest, let it come back and touch 2 lakh, and then we will do both. But to both of them, I have one message: never buy it all once, never risk your money that you cannot
Mm.
watch fall.
Yeah. Yeah. True. True that. Worst case scenario, sir. We have been talking about recession, 30% market spiraling down over a period of months. If this scenario comes true, for which you are hoping it doesn't come true, but the astrological perspective tells us that this will come true, what happens to my metals?
Well, they will go in opposite directions, right?
They'll go up.
Yeah, so it's very simple. Gold tends to rise or it tends to hold the same level in a recession because it's a crisis hedge. The hedge money will run, too when there is a crisis. But silver is another character altogether. It usually falls very fast, very quickly because it's an industrial metal. Industries will slow down. They won't manufacture so much. The demand will drop. Okay. But when it recovers, the recovery will come very, very quickly.
Just last one more thing, sir. Banks have openly been projecting gold being priced at $6,500 and the silver at $300. Is it a numbers driven, data backed forecast or just a fantasy?
I think it's neither. Look, it's a bet on one thing that they are doing, that the world keeps quietly losing faith in the dollar,
Hmm.
which is why gold 2027 targets by Goldman Sachs is 5,400 to 5,600. JP Morgan is 6,300. RBC is 6,500. BOFA is 8,000 bull case they have projected. Silver, JPM, Reuters see a $80 per average in 2026, $300 per ounce in a multi-dollar moonshot on an industrial squeeze. Okay.
Yeah,
What is the shared engine here that is going to drive this number? Central bank buying, de-dollarization, and eventual rate cuts.
hmm,
Treat them as a direction, not as a promise. The path can be a violent and a volatile one, not going to be a straight line.
I hope this episode reaches the relevant masses, those who are looking, those who are in ambiguity right now with their metals, with their multiple asset classes, what to do if this happens, if that happens. And also on the global level, this way of analysis should reach. And I have one more question to ask from you. All this thing has been analyzed using KP astrology.
That's right.
That's right. So all those who doubt the authenticity and the horizon of KP astrology, they should know at what level have has Professor Krish Murali reached with the system of KP astrology. Great, sir. It was good to have you here. I'm really personally looking forward to that AI bubble episode, which has just come up in trend. All the tech giants have started recently posting about it, talking about it. We should be the very first one to cover all the haphazardous discussions that have been going on regarding the AI bubble.
Sure. When we do that, we will also talk about specific AI stocks in the US.
Great, sir.
Looking forward to that. Thank you
Great.
very much for
Thank you
having me
so
on
much,
the
sir.
show. Be blessed.
ग्रेट राधे राधे जय श्री कृष्ण जय जय महाकाल आप सभी लोगों को